Hello, my friends, and welcome to our second class in Cinema 4D. During our first class, we took a look at the main interface, including menus, toolbars, icons, and also the side widgets. Today, we will continue at the main interface by looking at the work plan area right here, which is the place where we will build our main scene. Okay, get ready and let's start. At first, by looking at this area, which is called work plan, it's called perspective. Perspective means that you are looking at the interface or the scene in 3D space, representing XYZ axes, which are here in green color representing Y, blue color representing Z or depth, red color representing the X-axis. And there is a shortcut here representing 3 axes with the letters X, Y, Z. X for width, Y for height, and Z for depth. By looking at this plan, it's like a grid for the floor. This grid is just illustration, and it will not be rendered or will not be included in your final scene. It is just representing the 3D space for you to take a look. Okay, what if I have a cube right here? How to take a look or how to navigate around this cube? We have some icons here. These icons, the first one representing the move, in order to move the camera. Click and drag. By clicking and drag, you could navigate or move in right, left, up and down. So 4 directions are available here to move. The second icon represents the scale, to scale camera. Scaling here means zooming, zoom in and zoom out, right here. The third one is for the orbit. Orbit here means the rotation. So in order to rotate around your scene or your object, simply click and drag like this. I could rotate in any directions among the 4 directions, right, left, up and down. The fourth icon here is to toggle the view, or in other words, the active view. By clicking here, we have 4 different views. The one that we started with is the perspective. The second one is top, third one is right, and fourth one is front. You could navigate between any of these views. Just simply, if you want to go to the top, just click this icon to make it the active view. Right here, I am looking at my cube, but through the top view. Okay, if I want to go back, just click here, and for example, I want to go to the front and click the toggle active view icon, and I'm looking at my cube through the front view. Okay, I will go back and I have a remark here. In perspective view only, I could see my cube in 3D structure like this, but the other 3 views representing my cube just as a line or outline for the cube. Yes, that's right. This is not the only differentiation, but there is another difference here. Take a look here. I could see the 3 perspectives. Just a minute. like this. I have 3 axes right now, but here and here and here I only have 2 axes. For example, in the right, I only have the y and z, while x, I can't see it here. Yes, I see the letter, but where is it in the view? The same for the other 2 views. Here I only see the z and x, while y is not visible, and here y and x while z is not visible. This is a very important difference between the 4 views. We will explain it later, okay? So right now, just go back to our perspective view by clicking this icon, toggle active view. Okay, I have different views to take a look at my scene or my object. Let's add another object, and never mind about adding or the way of adding objects. I will explain it later on, how to create objects and what about them all. But right now, just simply, if you want to practice after me, just click the cube to have it here, or click and long press to select any other object among these different objects. Okay, right now I have 2 objects, the sphere and the cube. Let's go back to toggle between the different views. Right now, if I want to take a look at my objects from the right view, right here, as you see, I have 2 objects, the sphere and the cube is in the background of the sphere. It's behind it. This is because I'm taking a look at my objects through the x-axis, which is here, the red axis. Yes, so they are both in the same direction of my view, which is the x-axis. But if I take a look at the top, it's similar as if I will go in this view right here, like this. I am taking a look at the top view, and for sure, if I want to take a look at the front, it's similar to this one here, while right is similar like this one. That's it. So right now, simply, it's very easy for you to navigate between the 4 different views, and also to scroll around the objects. Okay, just a minute. Right now, while I was scrolling around my objects, I didn't use these icons. Instead, I used the mouse here with some shortcuts from the keyboard. Okay, let's go back to this perspective view to make it the active one. And just a minute, if you want to navigate, again, I will repeat. Click and drag to move. But if you want to make this using keyboard and mouse from this point of view, just click one, the letter or the button 1 from your keyboard. Click and hold 1. Then use your left mouse button to click and drag. By this, I'm moving the scene as a whole, not just one object, but the scene as a whole. You notice that the cube and sphere, including the grid in the background, they are all moving with me. I did this by clicking 1 from keyboard, click and hold 1. At the same time, then, or after that, after clicking 1 and holding, just click the left mouse button and drag. Click and drag, like this. Maybe at first you will feel some confused about using these buttons, but by practicing it, I guarantee you just within less than 30 minutes, everything will be very simple to use. Okay, this was about how to move. What about the second icon, which is scale or zoom, like this? How to make this from keyboard and mouse. Just click 2 from keyboard, click and hold 2. After that, from your mouse, just click and drag the left button like this. I'm scrolling or dragging the mouse up and down, and that's it. It's zooming like this. There is another alternative for zooming. If your mouse has the middle button, which is the scroll button, you could use it without pressing anything from the keyboard. Just use the scroll or middle icon or middle button in your mouse like this, and it will scroll like this, zoom in and out. Okay, our last third one, which is rotate or orbit. I could use it from here, click and drag like this. But what if I want to use my keyboard? You could predict it. We will use the number 3. Okay, 3. Click and hold 3, and click and drag your mouse. That's it. I'm rotating around my objects. So simply, to move, use 1 from keyboard and click and drag your mouse. To zoom, click 2 from keyboard, hold it and click and drag the mouse. To rotate or orbit, just use 3 from your keyboard and click and drag your mouse. That's it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1 for move, 2 for scale or zooming, 3 for rotating or orbit. That's it. This is the most important thing and shortcuts to know from this lesson. Okay, don't be confused about using this. Maybe you will face some trouble at first. We all face the same problem while starting learning the software, but after that it will be just a piece of cake. Okay, right now this is the most important info to learn about during this lesson. Okay, I'm with you to go within the lesson step by step. So don't be in a hurry. It's very easy to learn. Just practice. Please practice many and many times. Okay, right now I have finished using the 3 icons: move, zoom, rotate or orbit. And the 4th one for toggling the active view. I have different views. We said before it's perspective, where I could see the object in a complete way. I mean by this, it's a 3-dimensional object and even colored. But the other 3 views, top, front, and right, it was just a wireframe or lines illustrating my object without colors. If you want to change the way you are looking at your objects in each of these views, just simply select the one or the view you are desiring to change. For example, what about the front in this case, and go to display. This menu, display. As you can see, each view has its own menu, and for sure it's different than the large one here. Okay, so for the front view, I will go to display and select the first option, ground shading. Oh, right now I could see my object colored and as a mesh object. It's completely visible for me, but from the front view. And for sure, I could navigate by click and drag to move, zoom in and out, and orbit. But orbit in this case, it will not around the object. It will be around the X and Y only. Take a look. X and Y only, but no Z. axis here. Okay. Let's say I will leave it here. How to go back by making undo? Please write down this shortcut. Okay. If you click Ctrl Z, it will make undo for moving objects itself. But in this case, I didn't move the objects. I moved the camera or the way I'm looking at the objects. In order to make undo, we will use another shortcut which is very similar to Ctrl Z, but it is Ctrl Shift Z. Ctrl Shift Z. Click it. Ctrl Shift Z. That's it. I go back, undo, but undo for the camera itself. Okay. In this case, what about this view? I would like to display the object in color and full to be fully visible. So instead of lines, it will be grad shading. Same here, display grad shading instead of lines. What if I want to activate this view? Click this icon. That's it. Okay, what about moving around? That's fine, but how to make it come back in the center? Ctrl Shift Z, undo. By this, I'm undoing the movement of the scene itself. Okay, let's toggle back and let's go back to the same view. The way of displaying object, I would like to make it back lines. So display lines. Please repeat after me by practicing these steps. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to the perspective. One last thing to learn today. We learned how to move and rotate and zoom the scene itself, but how to move each separate object from these. You could notice that I could click any object to activate it, and it will be activated by seeing this border highlighted in yellow-orange color, like this. By clicking here, it's activated and surrounded by this highlighted border. Okay, it's fine. Let's take a look closer. We will zoom in like this and rotating by clicking 3 from keyboard and click and drag the mouse. Don't forget this. Please practice many times as you could. Let's say I would like to move the object, not the scene, because clicking 1 from keyboard will move the scene, the whole scene. All objects are moving, but I would like to move only the cube. Just click activate the cube, and I could see 3 axes here: X, Y, and Z. Once you go to Z, for example, which is in blue color, I could see it is highlighted in white. Highlighted in white means it's active right now. So click and drag. Oh, I'm moving my object along the Z axis. Okay, what if I want to move it along the X axis? Just go here, highlighted, click and drag. Okay, let's go back, zoom out, rotate. What about moving this object upward? So along Y axis, that's it, or downward. It's very simple. Okay, what about the sphere? Let's click and drag it along the Z, X, and Y. What about bringing this sphere just here above the cube? How to do this? Okay, in order to do this, I have to click and drag, but maybe I have difficulties to decide. Oh, it's not above it. This is why we are having different views. What about the top view? go activate it, make it the active one, and simply click and drag. Oh, it's very easy right now just to position my object as I want. Let's go back here. Take a look. Oh, it's positioned above it, but not beneath it. I would like to make it just to touch the surface of the cube. It's very simple to go here from the front or the right, just like here. But where is the sphere? I couldn't see it. Just zoom out, okay? That's it. I see right now. So click and drag. Let's go back to our perspective view. Zoom in using the wheel of the mouse or the middle button. That's it. It's very simple now to know that. For that we are using the different views. It will be much more easier to move objects using the different views, to align them or to move them to the right position using the three different views instead of just using the perspective, because here you have some, we could call it optical illusion. I'm not sure. Is it very close or not from the cube? I'm not sure. But by going here, it's very clear. Write this, okay? Okay. My last detail to talk about today is this small corner. This small corner, by clicking and drag this, it means it will highlight both axes, X and Z. So click and drag, it will move in both directions at the same time. Control Z, click and drag, this is X only, Control Z, this is Z only, Control Z, but this will move in both directions as you would like to do. Control Z. Same icon is here. Let's take a look. By this, I'm highlighting X and Z. By this, I'm highlighting Y and Z. Could you see this? Control Z. That's it, okay? And by clicking this, I'm highlighting Y and X. So it's moving right, left, up and down at the same time. Control Z. Okay, let's rotate it back. Just I'm going to keep the X-axis in this direction just to test my navigation, but as you wish, you could stay in this way or this way or this or this. Anything is possible, but just for practicing the navigation. Okay, for today we have finished. Please take a look at what we have learned today and practice many times as you could, because it is very important. I promise you everything in the future it will be easier, but it's very important to practice how to navigate, how to use different views, how to use the shortcuts from keyboard and these icons here. And don't forget 1, 2, 3. 1 for move, 2 for zooming, 3 to orbit. And you could use same numbers from your keyboard. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, to follow me up during the course, and that's it, and see you in our next lesson. Bye bye.